It all began with a noise, a soft, insistent hiss deep beneath the Coca-Cola headquarters in Atlanta. At first, it was barely noticeable, just a faint sound echoing through the labyrinth of concrete corridors that few ever visited. It was the winter of 1959, the Cold War at its height. Atlanta was gripped by a chill, both from the weather and the tension of the era. Beneath the city's surface, something even colder was stirring. In the sub-basements, maintenance worker Frank noticed a strange green glow seeping from a crack in a concrete wall. The light pulsed softly, casting eerie shadows that danced along the pipes and machinery. He reported it, but in the chaos of Coca-Cola, a hiss and a glow were easily ignored. The company was a hive of activity, and Frank's warning was lost in the daily rush of paperwork and meetings. The hiss grew louder, morphing into a whisper that seemed to call out from the depths. The air in the corridor thickened, tinged with a metallic scent that clung to Frank's clothes long after he left. Days later, a man in a plain suit arrived, carrying a Geiger counter. He moved with purpose, his eyes scanning every shadow, every corner, as if he already knew what he was looking for. As he neared the wall, the device clicked, slowly, then frantically. The needle jumped, responding to something hidden and dangerous just beyond the concrete. Something radioactive was leaking from the secret vault. The symbol of danger was no longer just a warning. It was a reality, seeping into the very foundation of the building. This wasn't just any basement, it was where Coca-Cola buried its most dangerous secrets. Few employees even knew it existed, and fewer still understood what was hidden there. The executive knew what was behind that wall, the result of a project so audacious it was spoken of only in whispers. Files were locked away, and conversations about it ended abruptly if the wrong person entered the room. The leak meant the past was breaking through, threatening disaster. The consequences of forgotten experiments were now impossible to ignore. The Geiger counter's clicks were a countdown. Each tick echoed the urgency, a reminder that time was running out to contain what had been unleashed. Coca-Cola had played with atomic fire, believing it could be bottled and sold. The company's ambition had led them to experiment with forces they barely understood, chasing a secret formula that was never meant to be found. Now that fire was escaping, starting with a glowing crack in Atlanta. The city above remained unaware, but below the danger grew with every passing hour. The secret had to be moved immediately. Every second counted, as the fate of the company, and perhaps the city, hung in the balance. Eternum was decaying in unexpected ways. The secret had to be moved, but someone else was already watching. The night of the transfer, rain lashed the Coca-Cola tower, drumming against glass and steel like a warning. Lightning flickered across the skyline, illuminating the building's silhouette, a fortress in the storm. The transport team descended through the labyrinthine corridors, tense and silent, every footstep echoing with anticipation. Shadows clung to the walls, and the air was thick with the sense that something was about to go wrong. The guard at the vault was missing, found slumped and sick in a break room, unable to recall what had happened. His radio crackled uselessly beside him. At the vault, the steel door was ajar, its heavy lock disengaged with surgical precision. The team exchanged uneasy glances. The laser grid was offline, its power conduit expertly severed. Whoever did this knew exactly where to cut, bypassing alarms that should have been impossible to silence. The lead-lined box with Eternum was gone, leaving only a dust outline on the shelf, a ghostly reminder of what had been there moments before. All research documents had vanished, files and blueprints swept away as if they'd never existed. Not a single clue was left behind. This was no smash and grab, it was a professional job, executed with chilling efficiency. Every move had been calculated, every risk anticipated. The thieves knew the vault, the security, and the timing. They had studied the blueprints, mapped the patrols, and struck at the perfect moment. They had walked into the most secure room in the city and vanished with Coca-Cola's most dangerous secret, leaving chaos in their wake. This was industrial warfare, National security was at stake. The implications rippled far beyond the company's walls. The stolen compound was a potential weapon. Was it a rival corporation, a foreign power, or something even more dangerous lurking in the shadows? The team stood in the empty vault, realizing the atomic soda recipe had just become a global threat. The fuse was lit, and the world would never be the same. The race to recover the secret had begun, and every second counted. The search for clues began. The scene was almost spotless, except for a single red, white, and blue Pepsi cap. Was it a taunt or a misdirection? Stranger still, a milky residue was found near the severed power conduit. The scientists recognized it. A spy trick using milk to bind radioactive particles, preventing detection. This was the work of professionals, possibly spies. The Pepsi cap and milk residue painted a confusing picture. Was Pepsi involved, or was it a smokescreen for foreign agents? The adversary was bold, brilliant, and knew the company inside out. Coca-Cola now faced war on two fronts, an external enemy and a possible traitor within. The investigation turned to the sick guard, Henderson. He recalled letting in a man with a flawless security pass and a faint European accent. The man offered him coffee. Soon after, Henderson fell violently ill. He'd been drugged. The forger had access to high-level credentials. The European accent brought the Cold War into sharp focus. KGB involvement, once unthinkable, now seemed likely. The Aeternum compound could be repurposed for sinister uses. Traces of radiation were found in the executive parking garage. The thieves escaped in a company car, later found wiped clean. The trail went cold. Coca-Cola couldn't go to the authorities without exposing their secret. They launched a secret internal investigation, hunting spies and traitors. Paranoia spread. Every employee was a suspect. The company that sold happiness was now drowning in fear. In the aftermath, the fallout was deadly. Henderson never recovered. His death was quietly attributed to cancer. His family received hush money, sworn to silence. Key security documents vanished or were redacted. Coca-Cola erased all traces of the heist, protecting the secret at any cost. Rumors of a nuclear accident and deadly rivalry spread through Atlanta. Coca-Cola launched a cheerful ad blitz to distract from the nightmare. More deaths followed. Scientists and executives linked to X-100 died mysteriously. Officially, they were coincidences. Unofficially, they were cleanup. The stolen formula left a trail of bodies, and the truth was buried deeper than ever. The Pepsi cap changed everything. The rivalry between Coke and Pepsi turned dark and secretive. Coca-Cola launched covert operations, convinced Pepsi was building its own atomic soda. Pepsi responded with bold, mocking marketing. The corporate Cold War escalated. Spies, sabotage, and paranoia. Coke scientists tested Pepsi for radiation, built secret monitoring stations. The search for Aeternum became an obsession. The competition was now about survival and revenge. Even the new Coke debacle is rumored to be linked to the lost formula. The radioactive heist poured fuel on a rivalry far stranger than anyone imagined. Today, the story of the stolen Nuke soda is officially denied. Coca-Cola claims Project X-100 never existed. Records are gone, witnesses silenced. Yet the legend endures, a reminder that even the happiest brands can hide dark secrets. The truth hasn't vanished, it's just contained. Did the KGB steal the formula? Does Pepsi hold the trump card, or is it in the hands of a shadowy third party? The only certainty, the formula is still out there. The rivalry never cooled, it just got weirder. The radioactive heist was only the beginning, so next time you open a can of cola, listen to the fizz. It might be echoing a secret war that's far from over.